Hello and welcome to the news at 4 on CoreTV News Lagos. An Abuja High Court sitting in Maitama has granted bail to former governor of Sokoto State, Tahiru Bafarawa, a former National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki, and 4 others. The court ordered their remand at Kuje prison until they meet their bail conditions. They are being prosecuted by EFCC on 22-count charge of alleged misappropriation of about 13 billion naira meant for purchase of arms. Bafarawa and others were granted bail in the sum of 250 million naira with 2 sureties each.
The conditions look similar. All it means is that the same sureties in the other court can also serve as sureties here. So, and they're all in line with the new act, which is to the effect that bail conditions should not be harsh, and it should only be the one that will ensure that the defendant or the accused is present or is available to attend this trial. Basically 2 sureties each in the sum of 250 million naira, and then with a property worth that value, which must be properly verified, and they swear to an affidavit of means, and they must deposit their passports, and that's basically what the bail import is all about. But in addition to the bail, His Lordship has now also directed that the complainant, which is the government, should not detain them again, and if they need them for any further investigation, it should be conducted between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. and they should be allowed to go home.
The last may not have been heard as the echoes of the political logjam in Kogi State still reverberate. The human rights group in Lorry has accused the national leadership of the All Progressive Congress and INEC of heating up the polity unnecessarily. The group, however, asked INEC and APC to reverse the process which had hitherto produced Yahaya Bello as governor-elect.
The group, Human Rights Agenda Network, sitting in Ilorin, Kwara State, has once again put under review the process that produced Yahaya Bello as the governor-elect in Kogi State, tagging it as compromising. The spokesman of the group, Taiwo Utstoloju, also joins arrays of Nigerians who believe that there is a constitutional breach in the way the matter was handled.
The Kogi electoral brigandage as perpetrated by the APC, the presidency, INEC and the AGF is the soul of our nation. The Kogi impasse is a critical stage and part of our constitutional and political development in the annals of nation building. As such, we must all rise to protect our common destiny.
Utstoloju calls on INEC to declare James Faleke as governor-elect.
Audu Faleke cannot stand election as an amorphous entity.
Utstoloju calls on INEC to declare James Faleke as governor-elect.
If some people do not want to see Honorable James Abiodun Faleke as an individual, they should go and settle their personal scores. Personal issues should not be used to scuttle our democratic process. The APC will soon die a natural death if it continues to plod this path of treachery and political xenophobia. Nigeria and Nigerians cannot be hoodwinked into so-called party supremacy.
While the matter continues to dominate political space, the January swearing-in of a new Kogi State governor is being awaited by Nigerians to know where the tide will swing to.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Benin City, Edo State, has annulled the election of the senator representing Delta Senatorial District, Senator Igoyota Amori of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The appeal court, in its judgment, granted all the prayers of the senatorial candidate of Labour Party in the March 28, 2015 election, Obaisi Ovie Omoagege. Delivering judgment, Justice H.A. Barker set aside the decision of the tribunal, which upheld the declaration of Senator Igoyota Amori as winner of the election by the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC. Reacting to the judgment, Obaisi Ovie Omoagege thanked God and the judiciary for the restoration of the mandate, which according to him was freely given to him by the people of the Delta Central Senatorial District through the ballot. And the federal government has promised to focus its policies in the health sector to bring in health care to the doorstep of all Nigerians. The Minister for Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, made this known at the Thanksgiving service and reception organized in his honor by the Osun State government in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. Professor Isaac Adewale assured Nigerians that the Buhari administration would make the life of every person count as it improves the support for the primary health sector in the country to ensure that good and affordable health care is made available to the citizenry.
The first thing we want to happen is to ensure that we bring health to the doorstep of every Nigerian. And we are going to concentrate on primary care as a platform for delivering it to people. We know that through primary health care, we'll be able to offer it to about 70% of Nigeria. We will then partner with state governments to make sure that the secondary health care system functions very well and that we also revitalize the tertiary health care system. I think once we have this, we will be able to take care of the health of Nigeria. The slogan under administration is that the life of every Nigerian counts. And when their life counts, even death will also count. And we want to assure you that we will offer affordable and qualitative care to Nigerians.
Nigeria must design the right development policies in the agricultural sector if it hopes to make the sector a mainstay of its economy. This is the opinion of speakers and participants at a one-day economic summit held in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. Guest speaker at the summit, Professor Yemisi Yemidu, says he believes that the move becomes imperative as past policies and programs have not solved developmental and sociological challenges in the sector in spite of government efforts since independence. He stressed the need for government at all levels to prefer the right economic policies that would bring about the desired growth and attract investors for upward development. Professor Akinyemiju said with almost 500,000 people living farming yearly, there is the need for the country to design the right developmental policies for the sector. He opines that governments must learn to allocate substantial amounts in the budgets to agriculture and also make loans with soft conditions available for farmers to encourage the younger generation develop the zeal to pursue agriculture as a means of ending the nation's poverty.
Development policy is to make funds accessible to farmers at very liberal system with very moderate conditionalities. Over the years, as noted earlier, because of the skewed nature of our developmental policies, the farmer has not benefited sufficiently from quality research and new technology or production. That is why today their productivity is low because of the use of obsolete production tools.
Katsina State Governor Aminu Masari says his administration inherited a pension liability of 8.8 billion naira at the end of 2015. Addressing journalists in Abuja, Masari disclosed that government is making efforts to clear the debt after proper screening and verification of pensioners. The governor maintained that issues of pension and gratuity are central to his electoral campaign, and as such, he is determined to ensure that the problem of pensioners are addressed. Masari further disclosed that the state government has no intention of cutting workers' salaries, but would seek ways of creating jobs for the youth and women by enhancing their capacities. The Minister of State for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, has directed an immediate investigation into the use of a ladder to disembark passengers from a Boeing 737 aircraft at the Bauchi Airport on Saturday, December 19th. In a statement signed by the Ministry's Deputy Director, Press and Public Affairs, James Odaudu, the act is inconsistent with Nigerian civil aviation regulations and International Civil Aviation Organization, as well as the standards and recommended practice. It disclosed that the investigation would determine the immediate and remote causes of the incident and will develop and implement measures that will prevent a recurrence of the unsafe and unacceptable procedure. The minister assured Nigerians that the Ministry of Transport, in collaboration with the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, would ensure strict adherence to the Nigerian Civil Aviation regulations as well as ICAO standards and recommended practices by all operatives. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll look at how Nigerians and other rights activists are reacting to the proposed electricity tariff in Nigeria. Join us again.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have the right in Nigeria,
where you are the judge.
The man on the streets have come to realize that the power to make decisions lies in the hands of the people. I don't think they're ready.
5 local government out of the 13 local government is more than many states in the north.
The economy is booming. Where is the economy booming? Blast in Abuja.
Don't you have security?
Why are we fighting? Sometimes you should not just sit in Abuja or in Sokoto or wherever he lives. Those are supposed to be Boko Haram. They know them.
They cannot be there and be here at the same time.
Life of the citizens, community need to be protected.
It can't work out.
Bring the message of peace. Let there be proper devolution of power from the center. The center is too powerful.
He's trying to do the best. But people are hasting. Why are you hasting? Why are you hasting? Why are you hasting? Well, let's conjugate.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it's time to forgive me.
Please Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
You're welcome back to the news at 4. Nigerians and other rights activists are challenging the proposed electricity tariff increase by Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, the NERC. CoreTV News flagship breakfast program, Core Digest, x-rayed the justification or otherwise of the NERC electricity tariff increase by the distribution companies of Nigeria, DISCOs. This report is taken from our studios.
Privatization of businesses, particularly government business, are done to bring improved services to consumers or clients of such businesses. It is also expected to enhance business profit in a competitive environment where the privatized organizations or company add intrinsic values to its products and services to the consumers. These cannot be said of the privatized electricity sector in Nigeria, where the electricity distribution companies from Ikeja Disco to Ibadan Disco, Kaduna Disco to Benin Disco complain the irregularity power supply, and in most cases, non-availability is the order of the day.
The capacity of our generation is 5,000. They have not done anything to expand it. Fine. Do we have complained? If we are seeing it either for 18 hours, will we? We won't. For crying out loud, will we have complained if every houses are metered? We know that it's only when you supply me that I will have to buy. If I didn't supply me, my credit will remain there for as long as you are ready to supply me, because there is no expiry date to it.
They don't give us this right as at when they keep pumping these bills that are unaccounted for unnecessarily. And even when posts fall, they don't expect the consumer to restore this force.
While the electricity consumer groan over the lack of electricity supply, they are also slammed with electricity bill not consumed.
We are going to stop this increase. I've told the minister in my letter to him that even with his approval notwithstanding, we will use every legal and civil means to stop that increase because it is unjustifiable, it's unjusticiable, and it's not unapplicable.
I think you have to make the meter to be installed. They are saying that because they are drinking making it back, they cannot install both Taraba and Adamawa. You can see the nonsense. They are charging people general bill, which is cheaper. What are they increasing? Do we have meter? Do we consume the light? Somebody will leave in the house and go to work in the morning. You come back in the evening, no night. At the end of the month, these children again will come to you like they want to wound you. You give them money, and then when you go around there, that's what they did upon. I paid not less than 4,000 naira in my house every month. Imagine. I'm not using people's device, they will give it to me. I cannot use it to freeze the food stuff in my fridge.
As the public awaits with bated breath on how to tackle the unwholesomeness in Nigeria's electricity distribution and its fraudulent billing system, it is expedient that the federal government will take proper look into the issue of supply and consumption so as to reach a level playing field.
In view of the wave of the fight against corruption in the country, the National Orientation Agency, in conjunction with the Office of the Head of Plateau Civil Service, organized an anti-corruption seminar for directors and permanent secretaries. The seminar is organized to warn them of any involvement in corrupt practices, and our correspondent has more on that story.
The State Director for the National Orientation Agency urged civil servants in Plateau State to become true democrats who have the people at heart. He laments the situation where civil servants are caught in the web of corruption when they ought to be the ambassador of the country's democratic values.
When the people are the subject and object of governance, then such government is called a democracy. So democracy is about people. Democracy is not something that elected people operate. Everybody in society.
Also, the head of the Plateau State Civil Service, Izam Azi, stated that it will be easy for any civil servants to stay away from corruption if they key into the agenda of the present administration, adding that there will be no sacred cows if anyone is caught in the act.
Here in the state, we know that this government has 5 key policy thrusts, one of which is the issue of peace, security, and good governance.
And speaking on the theme, stemming the tide of corruption, the guest speaker admonished the elites of Plateau State Civil Service to see corruption as a cancer that would destroy all if not stopped. She stated that there will be no corruption if no one is corrupt.
Fighting corruption is akin to fighting for the soul of this nation. And this corruption is not that it's somewhere else, it's within us.
A major warehouse at the popular Wuse Market in Abuja has gone up in flames. The fire incident, which occurred at about 6:20 p.m. last night, left the Abuja Plaza in ruins. Correspondent Abiola Oluwole has more on the fire outbreak.
Initially, it was mistaken for a Boko Haram attack as people were seen dashing out of the popular Wuse Market, but it was later discovered to be a fire outbreak at the Abuja Plaza, a major warehouse in the market. The building, according to eyewitness, stores electronic and electrical material. They spoke on the cause of the inferno.
Somebody is selling tea here, is inside. So when we are going to take the tea, so we just see say pa. Let's say play. So we just think pa. People we are running, we run to going outside. We say more can just watch our eye because our brothers market they are inside. But just like that. Just like that, nobody put the fire. I just come out. I'm inside the market. I just come out. I see just fire starting. I don't know what happened about it.
Tiro.
What's the name of this plaza?
This one is Abuja. Abuja Plaza. Abuja Plaza.
What do they sell here?
They are not, just it's a store inside. It's just store. All these things that is store inside. There is nothing to sell inside, it's just store. People, they are carrying load and put it inside. That is it.
Firefighter came on the scene, but by the time goods worth tens of millions were already consumed by the flames. All efforts to speak to them proved abortive as they were seen battling to put out the fire.
So far, the cause of the inferno is unknown, but men of the Federal Fire Service are on ground battling to put out the fire. From Wuse Market in Abuja, I am Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News.
As part of efforts to ensure absolute wellness in the forthcoming Christmas festivity, clergymen and Christian faithfuls have asked all believers to celebrate the season with caution and modesty. The resident pastor of Owerri Baptist Church, Don Dominic Nwachukwu, who disclosed this on Sunday during the yearly Christmas cantata program of the mission, urged Christians not to forget the reason for the season. And our correspondent has details of this story.
Christians have been enjoined to celebrate Christmas, bearing in mind God's purpose for Christmas. The resident pastor of Owerri Baptist Church disclosed this at this year's Christmas cantata program in Owerri, an exercise geared at celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ through songs of praises and prayers.
This is the period of salvation, a period of deliverance from our sins. So it is a contradiction for people to mix what ought to be deliverance with bondage, because every act of sin is bondage.
The pastor, alongside other speakers, urged Christians to look beyond wearing of new clothes, eating, wining and dining, but should focus on the significance of the season, which is the salvation of their souls.
It's not about Santa Claus. It's not about red and blue and white or whatever. It is not about Father Christmas. It's not about decorations. It's not about fanfare. It's not about feasting, and it's not about village, meetings and organizations having end-of-year party. It is about the Savior of the world.
As we celebrate, they should have at the back of their mind that this person we are celebrating today has made a very big mark in our lives. If not for his birth, we would have been here, we would have been celebrating him. And we should also let our life reflect the person we are celebrating.
Head of the organizing committee, Edmond Ejogu, and Reverend Onyekachi Norom said the Christmas cantata program is timely, while also pointing out the significance of this.
Let them come, rejoice with us. Have in mind that the King is born, who has come to save us. It's a period to rejoice that the Redeemer came, who was born in a manger. He came as a small person, but the biggest person. Emmanuel is his name.
Hence the theme, talk about the silent and calm time of Jesus being born. And so it's for us to reflect over the coming of Jesus and the peace and the favor that his coming brings to mankind.
The need for Christians to imbibe the godly nature of Christ this season cannot be overemphasized, as many believe that this and more is needed at this time in the country.
Kwara State government has imposed a 24-hour curfew on Share and Saragi communities, as at least 4 persons lost their lives in a renewed communal clash. In a statement by the Secretary to the State Government, Isiaka Gold, he said the curfew is with immediate effect. He disclosed that a detachment of the Nigerian Army has been drafted to reinforce security being provided by the police and other paramilitary agencies in the area. The Kwara State government further warns that anyone found with illegal arms and ammunition or disrupting peace and public order in both communities will be dealt with in accordance with the laws of the land. It will be recalled that Share headquarters of Ifelodun and Saragi in Edo local government areas have been involved in bloody land disputes for decades. In line with the Lagos State government's zero tolerance to issues of crime and gender-based violence, the state's domestic and sexual violence response team has entered into partnership with the Nigeria Police on the best strategies to adopt in handling issues relating to such crimes. The presentation of relevant laws took place Friday, December 18, at the Lagos State Police Headquarters in Ikeja. The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Fatai Owosheni, along with some Deputy Commissioners of Police and other top-level officers, as well as members of the DSVRT, were in attendance, and a statement issued and signed by DSRVRT Coordinator Titilola Vivo Adeniyi said the provision of the laws is one of the various initiatives adopted to improve the capacity of the police in responding to reports of rape, defilement, domestic violence, child abuse, maltreatment, and neglect. The Commissioner of Police, Owosheni, while receiving the laws on behalf of the Nigeria Police, reaffirmed the commitment and partnership of the police towards eradicating sexual and gender-based violence and crimes in the state. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, has directed its members to embark on an indefinite strike from December 24th, following federal government's directive to vice-chancellors to remove the names of staff of the university's secondary schools from their payroll. Addressing journalists, the national president of SISANU, Samson Ugokwe, disclosed that the National Executive Council of SISANU took this decision after its meeting in Abuja. He pointed out that the action of government to retrench over 2,000 staff is contrary to agreement of the federal government and SISANU, which was signed in 2009. Ugokwe further disclosed that the body has written the Minister of Education, Adamu, urging him to order the immediate withdrawal of all letters from the national salaries. And when we return, Burundi rejects African Union's deployment of 5,000 peace force to curb violence in that country. Join us again.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. And Burundi's government has rejected the African Union's decision to deploy a 5,000-strong peacekeeping force to curb ongoing violence in the troubled country, saying it will prevent foreign troops from entering its borders. The African Union's Peace and Security Council agreed to deploy an African Prevention and Protection Mission for an initial period of 6 months, primarily to protect civilians after months of political violence following the disputed re-election of President Pierre Nkurunziza in July. But Nkurunziza's spokesman, Gaveld Abayeho, says Burundi does not need a peacekeeping force and will not allow foreign troops in Burundi. However, the African Union has given the government of Burundi 96 hours to cooperate fully and accept the deployment of peacekeepers, saying it has the right to enforce its decision due to the existing charter. An Air France plane from Mauritius to Paris, Boeing 777, has been forced to make an emergency landing in Kenya after an explosive device was found on it. A senior Kenyan official who confirmed the incident said the explosive device was discovered in the lavatory during the flight and has been deactivated. The airport has been sealed off by security personnel after the emergency landing, and several passengers are being questioned. Speaking at a press conference at Mombasa Airport Sunday, Kenya's Interior Minister Joseph Nkaissery said Kenyan authorities are working with their French and Mauritian counterparts to determine the nature of the device. At least 27 people are missing and more than 20 buildings have collapsed as a result of a landslide, which occurred Sunday at an industrial park in southern China. More than 1,500 emergency workers are at the scene, searching and rescuing people from the debris. It is, however, unclear if there are fatalities in the accident, but reports reveals that 900 people have been moved out of harm's way before the landslide struck late in the morning. It will be recalled that another landslide occurred last month engulfed 27 homes in rural Xinjiang province, killing 38 people. And some sporting news now. FIFA President Sepp Blatter and UEFA boss Michel Platini have been suspended for 8 years from all football-related activities following an ethics investigation. The bans come into force even though Blatter had already announced he was stepping down ahead of February 2016 presidential election, and Platini, who had been tipped as a future leader of the world's football governing body, had hoped to succeed him. The pair, who have also been fined, were suspended for 90 days in October due to an investigation into a £1.3 million payment by FIFA to Platini in 2011. However, both men have denied any wrongdoing. And finally, the Super Falcons have moved up a place in the latest FIFA ranking released despite a dreadful 2015 outing. The senior women national team climbed up a place to 37th in the latest FIFA World Ranking. The reigning African champions earlier dropped 9 places in September to 38th position due to their exit from the preliminary rounds of the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup in Canada. Falcons were unsuccessful in a second successive attempt to secure an Olympics place. The Super Falcons gathered a total of 1,602 points to remain number 1 in Africa, ahead of Cameroon, Ghana, Equatorial Guinea, South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, and Senegal. Africa's women football event representatives at next year's Rio 2016 Olympics, South Africa moved up 5 places to 56, while Zimbabwe are the highest climbers of 2015, moving up 9 places to 98. Well, that's our bulletin for 4 p.m. My name is Christian Obodo. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to join us at 7 p.m. for The Reporter.